Yesterday, we are discussing about Virya effort, the importance of effort in the practice. In the practice, from the very beginning, we should possess the the types of Virya effort. From the very beginning till we reach our destination. Because in the practice, in the course of practice, we may encounter many difficult situations. We may encounter many difficult situations. Sometimes very unbearable, painful sensations may arise. Sometimes the Tinamita, sloth and torpor may disturb. Sometimes there might be many wandering minds. So when we have a difficult situations there, we cannot focus on the objects. We just want to stop our noting mind, shrinks back, don't want to put any effort. So when we encounter the difficult situations in the practice, we need even more effort. We need to propel this noting mind so that it again reach the object with the help of aiming. Especially when we have unbearable sensations, painful sensations. There may arise fear in the mind, and so we just want to move our legs. We just want to get up from the sitting meditation. And this fear, it arises again and again. And sometimes we think that I know what's happening in my mind too. But actually, we don't have mindfulness at that time. So we need a courageous effort, like the Bodhisattva, when he was practicing to become a Buddha under the Bodhi tree, he made a resolution. So too, we should have some resolution, some determination to be able to encounter, to be able to confront with this type of difficult situations arises during the meditation, during the course of practice. So when we apply the ardent effort in the practice, in noting objects, there arises mindfulness. We will have a mindfulness, sati. And this sati, mindfulness, is also one of the necessary component in satipatthana practice. Atapi sampajano satima. So atapi we should possess an ardent effort. When there is an ardent effort, then satima, we will be mindful. Mindfulness will be there. So here in the text, only the three components, atapi, sampajano, satima. And about sati mindfulness, we already discussed on the other day. And when we say about mindfulness, then concentration. We should talk about concentration also. Only then there will be sampajana, sampajanya, clear comprehension. So because of the effort, there arises mindfulness. And when there is mindfulness, there is concentration, samadhi. So what is samadhi? Samadhi is defined as one-pointedness of mind. Ekagata, one-pointedness of mind. And in Abhidhamma, this ekagata, one-pointedness of mind, is one of the universal mental factor which arises with all types of consciousness. So this samadhi, this type of mental factor, it present in every state of consciousness, wholesome consciousness, unwholesome consciousness. And concentration, the samadhi, which comes with unwholesome consciousness, it can be called mithya samadhi, wrong consciousness, wrong concentration. Means in doing unwholesome actions, this type of wrong concentration is present in doing unwholesome actions. But here we don't need that type of wrong concentration. We are doing this vipassana satipatthana meditation, the wholesome deeds, and we develop concentration in the practice, and that type of concentration is wholesome concentration or right concentration, samma samadhi. So samadhi, when it's just translated as one-pointedness of mind, citte ekagata, it can be wrong concentration and it can be right concentration. The path of purification, Visuddhimagga, define it as the wholesome one-pointedness of mind. Visuddhimagga define this concentration as a wholesome one-pointedness of mind. Means that is right concentration or good concentration. When concentration is there, the mind stays on the object. The mind is not going here and there. It stays on the object. So this samadhi, concentration, it can stabilizes the mind. The mind is steady and undistracted when concentration is present. This concentration unifies the consciousness and mental concomitants on the object. So the mind is not scattered. The mind is steady, calm, unwavered, undisturbed. When concentration is present, the mind is more calm and steady and still, like candlelight inside the room. The mind is very still, very calm and still. And when concentration is there, the mind becomes more clean and pure because it makes the unwholesome mental states settle down. Like a pot of muddy water, when this pot is, the water is not stable, but after leaving for some time, when it becomes stable, all the dirt, it just settle down and the water become clean and pure. So too, our noting mind becomes pure and clean when concentration is present. So therefore, when we put effort in the practice, mindfulness arises. And when mindfulness arises, the mind becomes, mind is settled. It becomes steady, still, calm, and the mental impurities, the mental defilements are settled down, so our mind become pure and clean. And when mind become pure and clean, we see the objects very clearly and distinctly. So we need to develop samadhi concentration. Many of us heard about this concentration a lot. We always talk about concentration. We always think that when in doing this practice, we don't have concentration. Sometimes we said, oh, my concentration is very good. different people understand concentration differently. Yeah. Some people understand it like when they are very calm, still, but knowing nothing. They just stay still and calm, and they think that their concentration is very good. And if you ask them, what did you know at that time? Sometimes they just say they are calm. They have good concentration, but they cannot express or they cannot explain what they are doing at that time, what they are observing at that time. There are different types of concentration. We develop concentration in tranquility meditation, and we also develop concentration in this insight meditation, vipassana practice, but different. The concentration developed in tranquility meditation and insight meditation are different. In tranquility meditation, we have only one object to observe. We are just taking only one object. But in vipassana practice, we have so many objects. So many objects, so many mind and matters. We have rising and falling as the main object. We have other sensations in the body. We have different mental thoughts. We are seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. In walking meditation also we have many objects actually, although we are focusing on the legs. We are supposed to see many things in the leg movements. So in vipassana practice, we have too many objects to observe. In our body also too many things happening. And all those objects, we have to note them, we have to observe them. That means we cannot stay just with one object. Just stay with one object all the time. We have to know different objects. And so we think that we do not have concentration. We could not cultivate concentration. Actually, in vipassana practice, the concentration we develop is called Karnika Samadhi. That is momentary concentration. The noting mind concentrates on the object observed momentarily. So if, for example, we are noting the rising movement on the abdomen, we focus on the abdomen, we put an effort, we propel our noting mind. So the noting mind reaches to the rising movement of the abdomen. So it falls there, mindfulness and concentration. is developed, but just for a moment. In falling movement also, when the falling occurs, we aim that object, we put effort, so the mind reaches to that falling movement, and the mind stays there. So we have a concentration for a moment. In every single noting, we develop concentration, but momentarily, just for a one moment. If we can note for one time, we have one concentration. If we can note for two times, we have two concentration. So the concentration we develop momentarily, it does not seem like a concentration. But when we keep on noting the every arising objects in our mind and body, we develop this concentration moment by moment. And so when this momentary concentration develops continuously like a flow, we can now experience how strong this momentary concentration too. So when we develop this momentary concentration, we feel that even though there are so many objects to note, and we are noting those objects one after another, the noting mind is very busy in noting those objects one after another, but we still feel that the mind is so calm, so still, so stable. We will experience in the practice. So in Vipassana practice, we are doing this to develop the insight knowledges stage by stage. And to develop insight knowledges, we need concentration. And to have concentration, we should have mindfulness. And to have mindfulness, we should put effort. Therefore, when we put effort, mindfulness arises. When we have mindfulness, concentration arises. And when concentration arises, because the mind is calm, still, stable, we see the things very, very clearly. We come to know about the nature of the objects observed. When our mind falls calm and collected on the object of the rising movement of the abdomen, we come to know about the rising movement. Yeah, at the beginning, because the concentration is not very strong enough yet, we do not see the nature of rising movement very clearly. We may see just the form of the abdomen, But slowly later we see the manner of the rising movement. But when the concentration is good enough, then we come to know what is that rising, what is that falling. At the beginning, we may think that the rising and the falling movement is same, just one thing. It rises and it falls, and they are connected. Because it rises, so it falls down. We think that rising and falling is just a one object. But is it one object? Actually rising, we think that rising, because it rises, that's why it falls down. And because it falls down, it rises again. We think that it is connected and just a one object occurring at the same place. But when our mind is very calm, steady, we come to see that rising and falling, these are two different objects, not just one object. We come to see it very clearly. Rising is rising, it's not falling. Sometimes it has nothing to do with falling, we see. And falling is falling. There are two separate objects. We come to see it very, very clearly. If you are noting the painful sensations, like a pain, for example, pain in the knee or in the legs, at the beginning, we just say, oh, it's so painful. It's very painful. Yeah. But when we keep on noting that pain, oh, there are different natures of the pain we come to see. At the beginning, we see just a very big pain, just a one big pain. But when we keep on noting that big pain, focusing it, again and again, we come to see that it is not just a big pain. It is not just a big mass of pain. There are so many other small pains, so many other minute pains. And this pain also, it is not just arising all the time, staying there all the time. It arises and passes away, arises and passes away continuously. And we also come to know the nature of pain. What type of pain is that? How it is painful. So there are a lot of changes, and we come to see those changes of the pain. And when we keep on noting again and again and again, sometimes we feel that the pain is very painful, but we don't feel very painful. Actually, it is very, very painful. But in our mind, we don't feel very painful. The mind is not affected by that painful sensation. because now we can see its nature very clearly. We just see the very true nature of that painful sensation. So we do not take it as my pain. Oh, my knee is hurting so much. We do not take it as my pain, my leg. The pain is in my leg. We just see the pain as a pain. Sometimes we even don't know where is this pain located. We don't know the location of the pain. We just feel the pain, but we don't know the location, whether this pain occurring in the knee or in the leg or at the back. We don't know. So at that time, we just see the very true nature of pain, just pain as a pain, means we really seeing the pain very clearly. So to be able to see the true natures of the objects that we are observing, we should have a concentration. We should have a concentration. We should develop concentration. And how can we develop concentration? By observing continuously with full effort and aiming. Yeah. So the continuity in the practice is very important. Knowing continuously one after another. Knowing moment by moment. We develop mindfulness and concentration. So atapi, then satima. Yeah, we develop mindfulness and concentration. And when we develop mindfulness and concentration, then knowledge arises. That is sampajano. Sampajano is a person with a clear comprehension. Yeah, sampajano, who possesses who has the clear comprehension, who has the knowledge, that person is called sampajana. And the knowledge is called sampajanya. Sampajanya, knowledge will arise. And here the Pali word sampajanya, it is compound of three words, sang, pa, and janya. So each word had its meaning. Sang, pa, janya. And here sang means correctly. Janya means knowing. When concentration develop, a yogi will know the objects as it is. Yogi will know about the object as it is, not in other way. Like a yogi will come to know about the rising as it is, like a tension, stiffness, movement, vibration, and so on. So that is knowing correctly. Sang is correctly. Janya is knowing. So knowing correctly. And knowing, sang has another meaning, is knowing completely or fully. Sangzanya, knowing completely and fully. And sang has also another meaning, personally. Knowing personally means knowing by oneself. That means you come to know about this rising and falling movement, not because you heard in the Dharma talks, not because you read the books, but through your own experience. So that is sang, knowing personally. You practice, you develop mindfulness and concentration, so you come to see, come to know the objects very correctly, completely, through your own knowledge, not through other people, not because you heard in the Dhamma talks, not because you read the books, not because you analyze it, through your own knowledge. So that is the meaning of sang in the word sampajanya. And also there is a pa, the particle pa. This pa also has two meanings. One is distinctly, pajanya, knowing distinctly. Not mixed up with any other things. You note it distinctly. And another meaning is knowing specially, unusually. That is the meaning of pa. So when concentration develops, you see the nature of objects as it is through your own knowledge. You are noting the rising movement. You come to see the nature of rising movement. You come to see its universal characteristics, such as impermanent, suffering, and non-self nature. So actually everything is impermanent, the Buddha said, and now you come to experience through your own practice. Before you heard, but now it is your own experience. You are noting pain, the painful sensations. You come to see the nature of pain. You come to see the pain arises and disappears, arises and disappears, the impermanent nature, suffering, and non-self. You experience by yourself. So that is sampajanya. And when your mind is on that object, you develop concentration. You are really knowing the object very clearly. At that time, there is no mental hindrances occurring. There is no lobha, greed, no dosa, hatred. There is no moha, avijja, ignorance or delusion, moha. No mental hindrances get a chance to enter because knowledge is there. Knowledge arises because you have developed mindfulness and concentration. So that's how we develop knowledge in the practice. That is why here the virya, effort, sati, mindfulness, and concentration, samadhi, and panya. Sampajanya is panya, is the knowledge, knowing. These are these components. Although we say three, atapi, sampajano, satima, although in Pali only three, but there are four, and we should add another one, faith, saddha. Yeah, we should have a saddha too. If we don't have saddha, faith, we do not come for the retreat. Yeah, saddha is there. Saddha, especially on the method of the practice, we should have faith. Yeah, we should have faith in the method of the practice. And these are the mental powers. Mental powers. Saddha, faith and confidence, virya, effort, sati, mindfulness, samadhi, concentration, and sampajanya or panya, wisdom, knowledge. These are the mental powers we should possess. For what? We should possess. We should have these mental powers to defeat the mental defilements, mental hindrances. These are the weapons. When you fight with your enemies, you should have a strong, sharp weapons. So we are doing vipassana practice here, means we are fighting with mental defilements, the inner enemies that are torturing us all the time. While you are sitting here doing sitting meditation, that time also these inner enemies are torturing you. You agree? Yeah, inner enemies are torturing. We are instructed to note the rising and falling and other objects, whatever arises, with full effort and aiming. But which enemy is torturing more? Lazy mind, yeah? Lazy mind. We ask to put a lot of effort, yeah, ardent effort, but sometimes we cannot. Although we know we have to put effort, but sometimes we still cannot exert effort. This lazy mind is also called tinamita. Tinamita, normally we understand it as a sleepiness, yeah? But only sleepiness is not the tinamita. Tinamita is also the laziness. We feel exhausted. We feel very fatigued. We don't want to exert. That is also tinamita. So this tinamita is the nearest enemy torturing us all the time. And to fight with this enemy, we should have a sharp weapons like effort, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. And not only this tinamita, sometimes we have a desire, maybe desire for some different food. Yeah, desire. We want to take a rest. And sometimes we might have some anger also, because the things are not happening according to our wish. We want something, but we are getting another thing. And sometimes we are not satisfied with ourselves. Yes, not satisfied with ourselves. And we become angry. So these are internal enemies. And sometimes we have a doubt. We may have a doubt even in the practice, the method of practice, because we are not experiencing anything special in the practice, and we start to doubt, start to have a doubt. Oh, is it a correct method? Is it a correct way? Or so that type of doubt is also the enemy. And of course, the wandering mind, uddhatsa, kukutsa, wandering mind. And sometimes we have a remorse. That remorse is also an enemy. The hindrances, the mental hindrances, are the nearest enemies. They are torturing us all the time whenever they get a chance. Yeah. So we are doing this vipassana meditation to defeat or to eradicate those mental enemies. So we need a very sharp and powerful weapons, and that those weapons are faith, effort, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. We have to make it strong and sharp in every moment. Therefore, in doing vipassana practice, first, we need to have a faith and confidence, especially in the method of the practice. And then we need to exert effort so that mindfulness arises. And when mindfulness arises, the mind becomes calm and collected. The mind becomes very stable. And so we come to see the true natures through our own knowledge, not by reading books, not by listening the talks, but through our own knowledge. We come to see it, we come to experience it, so that the vipassana insight knowledges develops stage by stage. And when vipassana knowledges get matured, we will attain the path and fruition knowledges. And when we attain path and fruition knowledges, the mental defilements will be eradicated completely, defeated completely. Therefore, in Satipatthana, Kayanupassana Viharati, Atapi Sampajano Satima. Yeah, Atapi Sampajano Satima. These are the necessary factors to observe the presently arising body as a body, to observe it repeatedly, so that we can abandon Vinaya loke avijja domanasang. We can abandon lobha and dosa, greed and hatred, but not only greed and hatred, other mental defilements too. Therefore, I would like to urge you to put more effort in the practice. Try to fight with the mental enemies torturing you whenever you are doing sitting or walking or in daily activities. The mental enemies torturing, looking for a chance to torture you. So try to fight with them so that you develop insight knowledges very quickly. That's all for today.